we get told off when we say Angela, but I'm from Angela in Perth. My testimony goes on from Mum. She mentioned to Fail that I was born. She saved the best to last. But I was born 4 years after Mum came to church, so I was the fourth baby. So I was brought up in the ways of the Lord, and I had a great childhood. I can't complain. I had a really amazing teaching of the Lord, and I went to Sunday school and went to kids camp and had a really amazing understanding of what we had and what was special and why we were different. And I'm really thankful for that. It's something that I will always be thankful. I'll never take that for granted. When I was 10, I was praying as a kid, younger, when your parents like, you got to pray. And I'm like, okay, whatever. You don't really kind of grasp it, but was when I had a vivid dream. I've got quite an imagination, and I had a very vivid dream when I was about 8. And long story short, it was a dream that my sister and I were riding a bike, and she went in. There was a big storm, and there was 2 like circles in the air, and it looked like the front of the Angela meeting. And my sister was like, "You've got to go into that one because you're not spirit filled. You'll be okay, but you can't come with us." But I was like, "But Mum and Dad and you and some other people I know are in that one." She's like, "Yeah, but you're not spirit filled, so you can't come in there." And I was that kind of really, I don't know why, it was my imagination, but as a kid I was like, "Oh my goodness, this is terrible." And so I started diligently praying from about the age of 8, and when I was 10 I received I did receive the Spirit when I was 10 at a kids camp, but it was more of a stammering tongue, and for me I didn't really get the whiz-bang moment, and so I was like, no, I don't have it. And so I say that I was actually Spirit-filled on the 26th of January because that's when I was praying after a Friday night meeting at Yangebuck, and came out in this amazing language, and I knew that then that I was completely Spirit-filled, and I was really emotional. And even as a kid, like, I was just surprised at how much of an impact it did make in my life then. So we prayed for everything, as you do in the Lord, and when I was 14, God helped me through school a lot. I did like school, and it was not good. So it got me through a lot of hard times at school. And but when I was 14, as you heard from Mum, Dad got really sick, and that was pretty scary. We weren't a sick family, if that makes sense. As in, we never got unwell, and especially Dad, he never sneezed, like he was well as ever. And he got really unwell, and he got through it. He had a pretty major operation, and the Lord was with him the entire time. I remember the nurses, when we went in, they said to Mum, can you kind of hold her back, because it could be quite confronting. This operation was quite massive. And no one was telling me where I was going, and I marched in there, I'm seeing my dad, thanks, and he was up witnessing to all the nurses and doctors, and hi, just no problem. He just came out of a 10-hour operation, and he was happy as Larry. And they said to us, "You haven't written down a second language here. You say that you just speak English. What's your second language?" And we were like, "We don't have one." And they said that can't be, because Dad woke up throughout the operation speaking in tongues throughout the entire operation under anaesthetic, and I just still find that absolutely remarkable. And then he got really well. The cancer that he had, the survival rate is 3 months, 6 months if you're lucky, and Dad was really well for 2 years, so I'm really grateful that we did have that time. We got to go to a Brisbane convention just before he passed away, so that was really special, a trip for Mum, Dad and I to have. Really nice memories. But being the stubborn kid I was, I was praying, and we were doing prayer and fasts, and we there was no doubt at all that Dad was getting healed. And I think that when you're brought up in the Lord and you hear all these scriptures and you hear all these amazing testimonies, that not getting in healing wasn't an option in my brain. I didn't understand the Lord's will and any of that. So when he did pass away, I was the daughter that didn't pray. I stopped praying for years. I never wanted to leave church. I was the kid that if you told me that cigarettes tasted gross and you shouldn't do it, I'd be like, okay, I'm not doing that. And my sister was the rebel when she smoked and drank and did all that, so she was like, it's not for you. I was like, okay, no problem, like, I believe you. So I was the good little kid. My sister wasn't like that, to go on record. And yeah, I was so angry. I was only 16. My dad was my best friend, and I was a daddy's girl, and we did everything together, and I loved the same things. I looked like him, and we were just like two little peas in a pod, and my world just was shocked. And also, because I was such a confident kid, when Dad was sick, when I was 14, we owned a hardware shop, and so Mum and I ran the hardware shop ourselves, which is quite funny when you think about it. But I knew every nut and bolt, and it was quite funny. But I was telling everyone, they were like, where's Graham? And I was like, he's unwell, but don't worry, he's going to get the healing. And so for me, I was embarrassed. I was like, I have to face the world and all these people, and he didn't get the healing, and how do I explain that? And I was just so angry, and I had no one else to blame but God. And so I stopped praying. I was okay, because I kept going to the meetings, and I would pray when I have to, or if people were watching me or something like that. But myself, I was just kind of done. So at around the same time, I actually started getting quite sick physically. I couldn't eat gluten, and my sister has a very similar, it's a little bit different, but a similar issue, and she can't eat gluten. So she was like, oh, you just have the same thing, just don't eat gluten. That's easy if you can kind of cut out bread and pasta and the obvious glutens, but it started getting to the point of chocolate, which is not okay if you can't eat chocolate. Like tomato sauce and ketchup, it's different, tastes better. Tomato sauce, like any kind of sauces, little traces of gluten, I would be, I was only at this time maybe 17 or 18. Simon and I started dating when I was 18, and I used to get asked if I was pregnant. I was so bloated and so sick, I would faint. Mum took me to hospital once because I was fainting in a Sunday meeting, and they couldn't really work it out. Anyway, after a long story short, I decided to go to a specialist. It was making me really unwell, affecting my work, and I had to eat a lot of gluten to be tested, and so that happened, and I got diagnosed with celiac disease, and that's an incurable disease where your body basically cannot process any traces of gluten. You have these little things in your stomach, I don't really know technical stuff, but you have these little kind of seaweed looking things in your stomach, and if you eat gluten, they die, and you get malnourished, you can get cancer, bowel cancers, you can get a whole heap of other sicknesses. I was very anemic and very skinny, and when I got the news, I got booked in for all these other tests and an appointment with a dietitian to go through what my diet would be like. My doctor basically said, this is it, and you cannot eat gluten ever again. If you do, you'll be really unwell, and there's nothing we can do. Thanks for coming. And I got in the car and I was like, but Mum, the chocolate, oh my goodness. And she just went, now you know what to pray for. And I was like, she's a clever, witty lady, isn't she? So I didn't pray about it. I had the attitude that if God wanted to heal me, he would. If God wanted to heal Dad, he would, but he didn't. And so I was like, well, if God wants to heal me, go for it. If not, doesn't matter. Not long after that, I was 19 and I went to a young people's camp, and I'm pretty sure you had Rosie visit here, Rosanna, yep. She had an amazing testimony, very similar healing, and she's Italian and loud, and she went, Tara, have you prayed about it? I was like, no, not really, but I'm the bad attitude kind of girl, and she was like, seriously, you need to pray about this, I've had this healing. I went, you know what? It's probably time. And so we went off for an hour's prayer, and it was the first time I'd prayed kind of since Dad died, and my tongue changed, and I just had this overwhelming feeling of like, I've been healed, I know it. And they had Italian night. I just loved it. I ate every pasta, garlic bread, everything that was going around. And I was just waiting, and everyone was standing there like waiting for the reaction, and nothing happened. And from that day I was completely healed. So for me, it kind of proved that God's still alive and He's still working in my life. And as I got older, you get an understanding and you mature and get stronger in your walk, and understand that Dad's made it and he doesn't have to suffer in today's world, which is great. And yeah, it's been an amazing life in the Lord, especially as you get older and you get more responsibilities. There's been times that Sam and I have $5 in our account for 2 weeks, and we go, luckily I was healed of pasta because that's the cheapest thing. But it's like the Lord just provides. And Simon testified about his work, and I'd been in the same place for 10 years and I was totally over it. And it was quite funny because I literally got a job landed in my lap. I went to work one day, a person came in, do you want this rep job? And I went, yep. And I went home and I was like, you know how you've been praying about a job? I got a new job today. It was like, what? That's not fair. It was so funny. But for us, it was flexible hours for me, still full-time, a massive pay rise. So at the time that we needed it, the Lord just provides. And I just want to testify of the Lord's timing. We don't ever have to be anxious or worry Mum and Dad had me 15 years after my next sibling. That's pretty unheard of. And I was able to be with Mum after Dad died when I was 16 until I was 23 when I was married. And I'm now able to help support Simon losing his dad. And it's just the timing of everything. When you're going through a trial, it's just you cannot see the end. And losing my dad is the worst thing that will ever happen. But you kind of get the victory at the end, and you just think, praise the Lord that God never leaves you, and His timing is perfect. And I praise the Lord for that. Thank you.